Hey, JulesBlessedVegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So I was missing in action yesterday, people, but I never like to go 2 days in a row if I can help it. And today is Thanksgiving. Wait. Okay, that is like secretly brilliant. Today is Halloween, for which I'm giving Thanksgiving that I do not participate in the nonsense. That was a great play right there. Yeah, I did not participate in the nonsense. I worked my butt off. Oh my gosh. This was one of those days of just total physicality where I was out there helping my husband with all things horses. I did get knocked down by one of my horses, my huge Belgian draft Harley, who has no sense of her being. And she just came up behind me and just knocked me down. I pulled in all my limbs and said, no, please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Like I didn't want her to accidentally trample or walk over me too. Oh my gosh, you guys, if you've been following me, you know my track record. I earned a blister. Yay, from working so hard. Kind of a funny place for one, but I guess the glove just kept rubbing right there. So yes, I worked super hard, praised God every minute, offered it up for those in need, and just kept being so grateful, an attitude of gratitude for not participating in Halloween, not passing out the candy to children who don't need it, not consuming it. Now, you know my pattern. My pattern is to make it through the tough stuff, and when the emergency's over and I exhale, I tend to falter. So let's not let that be happening with the after Halloween candy sales, right? Oh my gosh, I will affirm right now that will not be my truth, but I will check in with you guys too. I sound exhausted. It's only 11 o'clock. I shouldn't be that tired. It's really, I don't think I drank enough today. Seriously. I mean, I like 16 cups of stuff, and sometimes on the weekend, I don't do smoothies. I eat my food. And so I only, like with that will get me to 16 cups. But normally I've had 16, and then throughout the night, I drink 4 more. So I'm a little under. It was hot. I know it just sounds funny. Bless you guys who are freezing, but it was about, it wasn't exceptional. It was about 84, but 84 for the very end of October is pretty warm, really. All right, so I just wanted to share this thought. I thought it was so powerful and much needed for me. I just cannot believe how completely in denial I was regarding my food, my program, my weight, my health, my everything. And it was kind of sad. And part of the reason I just couldn't do a video yesterday, I wanted to make sure that I went to a 12-step meeting, which I did. And I was happy for that. But what was interesting was I found this journal to recovery, which is brilliant. I'm going to really look forward to using it. When I opened it up, I feel like I have to whisper. When I opened it up, I actually had this from 1999, okay? Like a really long time ago. And sadly, same story, same nightmare. I weighed 284 at the time on here. I would love to say that that's the 284 I weighed 3 years ago, but no, it's a whole different 284, because like I told you guys, I gained and lost weight, 100 pounds 6 times in my adult life. So even 20-something years ago, I was probably just coming down from 300. But anyway, it was a really sad little story in here, just with the crazy struggle I was having, indicating that I'd been binging all day. That day was my first day of wellness, and that I'd hoped it would continue. And I was indicating, I was already with my husband, of course, and he was at a truck driving school and was only coming home on the weekends, and I had miscarried twice during the time that he was training to become a truck driver, and initially when he was on the road, and it was really hard for me. I mean, I just couldn't even stand it. I had fibroids, of course, obesity to the max. All of my hormones were off, and I just felt like I was all alone. I was just either bleeding to death or not bleeding, but not able to carry a baby, and it was just terrible. And I was just reading this, and it literally just was saying, Lord, free me from the daily insanity regarding my food and my choices. And I even put on here at one point, I don't want to abuse my body anymore. I feel like I wish I were dead. Can you believe that? It was, I'm grateful for this. And I talk about Danny Raw, and she's a social media phenom on every health platform. And she says how eventually your journals will become a gratitude journal. And I'm just so grateful that as hard as things have been, and they have been, that I don't wish myself dead. I never wish myself dead. So I was sorry for this, Juliana. I mean, throughout this whole thing, just begging, please, God, intercede. I need you so badly. And I get it. I get it. I really get it. Luckily, it did end with an I abstained today, first time in a zillion years. Yeah. But then it went on to say, I'm weighing in at, 284.3. And then it says, hello, sumo-wrestler. Sumo-wrestler. All right. Juliana, seriously? I'm going to turn this journal around. Luckily, I only used a couple pages, so I have all of this loveliness to become an advocate for myself instead of chronic put down. So that's what I saw of this brief statement, and it reads, it's really hard to recover from depression, addiction, an eating disorder, or trauma if the inside of our head isn't a safe place for us. And I thought, oh my gosh, yeah, a chick who wishes she was dead? That doesn't seem safe to me. A girl who's calling herself a sumo wrestler? It's not lovely. So yeah, again, I come from a super hypercritical setting. But it says, self-love is a tall order. But we can start with refusing to smack talk ourselves. I love that. Smack talk ourselves. Our relationship with ourselves is 24/7. That's what it reads. Guys, so true, so true. And you know how we say, like, our own mind will believe everything we say first and foremost, right? So we have to be warriors for ourselves in a good way. I'm hearing it, you guys. I'm happy to hear it. I went to a CODA, which is Codependence Anonymous meeting, and I've always been a 12-stepper. It's really interesting. When I found the vegan lifestyle, and raw vegan in particular, I dropped all my tools for the 12 steps, because I just kept hearing the message that, if you just eat this way, you'll be saved, and it, and you don't always have to think of yourself as a codependent or why label yourself a food addict and like, just get on with it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am so on my way to 300 pounds right now. I can't even tell you. It scares me to death. And what worked for me for years, certainly in between every slip, I understand why it worked. It's worked for so many, for millions and millions and millions, because it's a very caring, step-based program that helps people get through their stuff. And And so I already have all these books, no surprise. I have, Codependence Anonymous. I have Alcoholics Anonymous. I have all the Anonymouses. And it's okay. It's okay because, again, they don't have any solution for the diet, the lifestyle, because it's based on working through the steps and what's holding you up mentally and spiritually and emotionally. The physical, we get to choose. So, of course, raw vegan is perfect. It's perfect. I'm allowed to eat whatever I want for abstinence. And I love raw vegan. It is my healthiest, most wonderful way. And I'm so grateful for that. But yeah, all the other things, I talk about Tanny Raw and her Raw Reset, which I've really encouraged people to participate in. My husband, he just let me have it. It was like, Julianne, I don't even know you right now, and you've been so out of control. Where's Tanny Raw? And why aren't you doing the reset? I'm like, well, hooey whatty? Oh my gosh. He was just like, that's the time you're on your plan the most. Like, can you start a reset right now? Is there any way? Oh, poor guy. Poor guy. I'm going to laugh and try not to cry. He was really in a panic out of love for me. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But the reason I bring it up is because in the Raw Reset, Tanny Raw doesn't just say, eat whatever vegan food and you'll be cured. She makes people do the footwork. She really does, from the journaling to the, having your forever plan and what you can have, what you sort of can have, and what you should most certainly not have. And the if then, she does a lot of great role playing. And I just love it because she shares stories about her mother helping her to role play. Oh, what's occurring to me right now is this is dust. There was so much dust kicked up in cleaning out the stalls. When I took a shower, there was literally mud coming off my face. That's how it was. So I'm realizing I inhaled a lot of dust. Yes, that's what that is. But anyway, yeah, so she talks about, role playing. If this happens, then do this. And so, that God gave me Tanny Raw, which was so similar to the 12-step programs in many ways. I could see the parallel right away. And then with the 12-step and the grace of the 12 steps and the beauty of Tanny Raw's Raw Reset, and then the Bible, which of course is the Blessed and Jules Blessed Vegan, all of those things have given me the tools for the best way in life, the best way. My biggest struggle has been self-acceptance always, and just loving and caring for myself, which starts in the mind, right? So I'm rejoicing that I had no desire to participate in Halloween, and that I feel called to care for myself. And some of that is codependency, to make sure that I'm not accidentally doing other people's inventory, accidentally lending advice that isn't asked for. Like, I need reminders of that, because codependency was very much my first program, my first 12-step program. I recognized that right away, that I was raised in a house without boundaries, and I didn't even know where to begin with them. And from there, I recognized the lack of boundaries that tended to drive me to eat. And so I went with Overeaters Anonymous from there. And then it was just super apparent that, of course, I suffered from alcoholism. So, of course, I found myself in the AA rooms. Those were a little more difficult for me face to face, because inevitably they had a ton of treats all the time. Because usually when you give up one addiction, you don't have to be addicted to something else, but there's that oral sensation, So for the smoker, they want to input. For the drinker, they want to input. And while that was not their drug of choice, it was mine, and that was very difficult for me. So I really appreciated Coda because they don't get into the treats. I really appreciated Al-Anon because when I was no longer participating in addiction, I still had to process what I'd been through with my father as an addict. And just all those programs, I love them. I know the steps by heart. I know it works, and I love them. And so my next one, of course, is to apply it to my mindset in just the grace of caring and accepting myself. So, okay, let's read this clean. It's really hard to recover from depression, addiction, an eating disorder, or trauma if the inside of our head isn't a safe place for us. Yeah, self-love is a tall order, but we can start with refusing to smack talk ourselves. Our relationship with ourselves is 24/7. Good or bad, right? Good or bad. All right, my friends, thanks for letting me share. I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad I abstained today from anything to do with Halloween. That's a real breakthrough for me. Like if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.